Hello, I am Carmen Roman and I am a student in ITP in the Transpersonal Psychology Institute in the PhD in Clinical Psychology. As part of my training, I choose the specialization in creative art therapy. So part of my professional training means painting and dancing and singing and drawing and journaling and all of these richness of arts, expressive arts, writing poetry or writing novels or whatever narrative, whatever. And I also have Aikido and yoga as part of my body practices. Being an ITP student has been a wonderful experience because besides having my being getting ready for the license is also me growing, really growing through a transformation, my dreams, during the night, my way of cope with the stress, my way to relate to my dear ones, to my loved ones. Um, Everything is getting a sense of softness and sweetness and joyful playfulness. So I am really like sometimes some days it's just a lot of inner exploring and some days will be a lot of theory learning. After all of this growing and feeling and wonderful things that were happening to me, I start feeling the need. The second need was to share. It was a very natural thing. Like I want to share all of this that is going on inside for me. Um, and I thought that the best way for me to share was, I don't know, writing a novel. So I have a short novel that I am working on it and writing poetry or maybe writing a song or I couldn't think about writing a book because writing a book requires some more time and I am waiting for me to graduate for that. But it was so strong, the need it became stronger and stronger. I started asking people who publish books how they did it, what was the process. And I got some very good ideas, but still, I am a graduate student, I don't have time for that. And I just offer myself to the universe and say, hey, whatever I can do, because the urgent in my body it was so huge. And one of these nights, last September, it came into my dreams that I need to open a blog. And it was like, oh yeah, sure. Well, the idea of web blogging didn't seem so crazy. I had experience of journaling in my teen years, and I also had the experience of journaling in a class for ITP. We were using art, and I know by personal experience that it reduces stress, release anger, resolve conflicts, inner conflicts, help me in getting in touch with my feelings, and of course, I can communicate better with my soul. So it doesn't matter if I can draw or not. I know that blogging, like journaling, is a very healing experience. But web blogging, I wasn't that sure, so I went into the research and see what I could find. And what I found several articles. One of these written by David Facker in 2005. He says that actually we can educate the students to be bloggers, because web blogging it's similar to personal journals or personal diaries, but foster community building and online community building, which teenagers are much that into now, self expression and creativity. 51% actually of the blogs of the online blogs are developed and maintained by teenagers. So it's a very natural way for them. They develop, for example, in the research, they develop a term which is called digital fluency, which means that people is more familiar now to technology, and we are familiar with storytelling. So storytelling doesn't finish in childhood; it carries, it comes with us. until we are adults. So pretty much in this article, he says that it is good to encourage weblogging for students. It is very good to foster communities online. It gives the student the sense of influence their environment, and of course, it's not limited to the classroom. So teachers need to realize that nowadays the teaching is not in four walls anymore. When the student open a computer, the classroom is the world. Now I need to take care of people who respond and publish every day and all of this. I don't have time for that. It's worse than a book. And then 3 days later, it came the name of the blog, Mornings with Carmen. And you were like, sure, yeah, of course. I am spending the mornings with myself, and I am journaling, and I am writing my inner feelings and very private things. But it was very insistent, like, it was like a thing that you need to do. And I said, okay, sure, let's do it. So I shared with my friend Chris, and he helped me to put right away a blog in Google. And I published the first post or the second post. For me, it was more about sharing and getting to practice my English skills, which I am not that well in writing yet. So it was like, okay, let's work with that. I published the first post, the second and the third post, and I start having more reaction than I expected. People start reading it in Mexico. Here, my bosses, my classmates, my faculty members, it was like I was going into the home of the people, into their private lives, and I was telling my private life. And they start commenting. So self-disclosure came to me like a very strong thing. I realized that publishing in internet is self-disclosure. So it was for me a process of what I am going to say and how and who I am. I really don't care about who I am in America, but in Mexico I will care a little more. And then people start asking in Spanish, so I needed to publish some videos in Spanish of the same post, which is more self-disclosure. I remember one of the first posts that it says, I was writing at 4 in the morning, and actually the post says, it's 4 in the morning, I am writing whatever I am not brave enough to say to myself once the sun is out. But the experience, it was still, the need still was very strong, and people were coming with very positive feedback. I start having a sense of responsibility and a sense of commitment. I will wait for the post to be born. I will wait for the inspiration to come. And I was having tons and tons of ideas, and I needed to put some posts aside and some other to publish. And it was this kind of negotiating with myself. But I wanted to still be helpful to people. I never expect, though, that this will be a healing process for myself. This sharing and sense of influencing people, it was like a relief that I am doing something for me, I am doing something for others, but also it was the more commitment to what I say and how I say it. It was more commitment to go inner myself and to have more insights. It has a very good healing approach for me. The people respond in two ways to the blog. They respond first to me, like, oh, Carmen, I'm sorry that you are going through that, or I am happy that you are going through that. Or they show empathy and compassion to me. And the second part, which is very linked, is people immediately go into their own insights into their life, and this is the ultimate goal. So people start questioning themselves, looking into themselves, thinking what they could share and they could not. I didn't have at the beginning the first post. I didn't have any questions at the end. Anything, just a nice comment to close the post, and that's it. But then, because people came to me and have this need to share, I start inviting them to share into the site, and I needed to take it more seriously. Now it's not my blog; it's like a little more community blog. So I actually went and bought the domain. I moved from Google to my own domain now. It's morningswithcarmen.com, and um, and now I am free, like more space or more pictures or more whatever I need to do or whatever. I am the only one who go through that, scan the post before I am publishing. um, and the videos were having the same impact. It was more difficult for me doing the videos, but it was having the same impact with people. So through my healing, and through my inner insight or my inner growth, I am positive that I am helping others to grow. And I will put a question here for you. If you have this chance, the opportunity to just say something about yourself that have some influence in other people, what you will say, what you will want to share, what is your soul thinking or saying or yelling. What is your soul feeling that needs to be heard by all of us? Thank you.